Concerning well-known concepts describing time, let us offer a different perspective. Time, as far as consciousness is concerned, is defined by the moving of matter. Ponder on a watch, digital or analog. As the hands move or the digital numbers increase, a human's conscious mind accesses that as the progression of time. However, the word progression is cryptic, considering clocks progress in a cycle. Therefore, according to clocks, time is not infinite, in the sense of continual progression, but instead, time is cyclical. Bearing that in mind, should we continue to say that time has a beginning or end? If humans define time by the moving of matter, then time is not matter. Remember that time has never been thought to affect matter, but instead it is a representation of matter at a single perceived instance. For example, a perceived object is observed at one point in space. Then, movement happens when the object is perceived at another point in space. However, for time to be perceived as progressing, which is different from time being perceived to exist, the observed object must return to its original point. It is the cyclical nature of moving objects that is considered the progression of time. Time has a beginning, but at the same time, does it not? Perception is the key. Time does not exist without perception, and all perception does is note the moving of matter from its start, movement, and then back to start. When the connection of matter and conscious perception find a balance, we have memory. Can time exist outside of memory? That is to say, when a human is unconscious, does time exist? No. Time requires conscious perception. Time is hopelessly intertwined in the conscious perception of objects moving. That process requires energy and matter. So, time is not just energy or just matter alone, but their interaction. If that is all time is, then why can't we time travel? We can undo it all the time. You must give up the movie concepts of time travel, which requires technology like time machines, and embrace that a human is the time machine at any given point. Moving matter, when perceived by consciousness, creates a timeline. If time is the observation of matter from a set point back to its original point, then a timeline is accessible at any point. Time cannot just progress forward, or else it would not be considered time but something outside of logic. Let us say a human perceives something and then forgets. That object then moves outside the human's perception. Therefore its set point is also forgotten. The human then perceives the object, not again but to them for the first time. That object did not move. Therefore, neither did time exist nor did progression happen. So, a timeline requires conscious perception and remembrance. Remembrance is not of itself the same as time. A human can remember a ball, but time only happens when the ball is perceived to have moved. To help neutralize the concept of a timeline, let us think of a timeline as though it is the surface of an endless lake. We and all forms of matter are rain droplets created during an endless storm. Time happens when the rain droplet hits the surface of the lake. A timeline consists of the initial disruption and the corresponding ripples expanding in all directions. The ripples last for the duration of conscious awareness. So think of the ripples lasting forever as long as a conscious being is aware of the ripple in the timeline. Furthermore, the rain droplets can touch the lake all over but only once at a point in any given instance. Once one droplet touches, creating a ripple, then another hit at the same point starting a new ripple as the old moves on. So, the ripples expand but also combine to create a continued disruption of the lake. The ripples also collide with nearby ripples resulting in a complete timeline fueled by chaos. History would then be the conscious awareness of select ripples, limiting awareness of ripples not considered culturally significant, in a limited area. Even human history as a whole that is passed on to generations can't come close to including the happenings of animals, insects, or the everyday struggles of humans that don't ever get culturally recognized. The timeline can be accessed in a limited way like that because conscious awareness requires memory, but memory is not actual but recreated over and over.